Today is Saturday, November 26th, 2022. Welcome to the Survivor Fans Podcast. I'm Joanne.
And I'm Stacy.
And this is the listener feedback show for Survivor 43, Week 10.
Week 10. What, 3 more and we're done?
Yep.
Wowzers.
Yep. Two more weeks before the finale.
Yes. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. We had great turnout on a holiday weekend here in the U.S.,
Yes, we did. 16 people.
16 super fans scrambled and found some time to share their thoughts, and I'm excited to share that with the world. Is there anything we need to cover before we jump in?
Just, I hope everybody had a happy Thanksgiving.
Ditto. First up, we got a call with Pete.
Hey, Joanne and Stacy. This is Pete from Boston calling here. Man, it was an awesome episode. Very sad to see my girl with the great inspiration, Noelle, leaving. Especially she's my fellow New England native from New Hampshire, and I'm from Boston. So hopefully I get to meet her down the road. But I'm going to let out a great big And man, guys, I guess you could say this was Noelle's going away episode based on the edit. I mean, that challenge, the first challenge where she won the reward there, was truly amazing and inspiring. I know how Probes is with those emotional questions, but I will say it was awesome to see Noelle pull it out. I didn't think she could, but she showed a lot of heart and a lot of grit there. I truly loved it. But at the same time, I was sad to see her go. You know what I was hoping, guys, at the end? I was hoping at the last minute when Gabler was telling Carla about Cody and Jesse being a duo, I was hoping at the last minute, but it must have been too late, that they would get together with Noelle and Owen maybe, and even flip-flop a Sammy and get rid of Jesse. That would have been the perfect blind side. And you could see Jesse would have never saw it coming, but it just never happened. And Noelle is on the jury. But I think at this point, guys, I don't know, they better watch out Jesse and Cody, especially Jesse. He's got a lot of power there. And Carla's still got the idol. Gabler somehow is everyone's BFF, but for how long? Somehow Gabler went from being despised when he was on the yellow team with Ellie and Janine, and now all of a sudden they all love him. Everyone wants to work with Gabler on both sides, even Owen and Sammy, but he betrayed them with the Noelle blind side. So nevertheless, sad to see Noelle go, but it was a great episode, guys. Oh, and great job by Cassidy. She is building her resume, and I think she has a great shot to win right now as well. But I still like Carla. We'll see. We'll see. And even Jesse. It's anyone's game right now. It's going to be a great ending, I feel like. I can't wait to see how it all pans out. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone. Take care. Woo!
Whoa, thanks, Pete. It does almost feel like it could still be anyone's game, huh? We were rehashing that before it started, except Sammy. He did not come out looking good at this episode. Yeah. He's got the tag on him right now. He's the flip-flopper, can't be trusted.
Think he could win.
Yeah.
But even Gabler could, I guess.
I had a more favorable view of him after our second watch, and I realized how much more in tune he was.
He is strategizing.
Yeah.
I still don't believe that people really trust him, though. I don't.
Some people...
They need him.
Some people... I think some people did. I think Noelle truly did. And she needed him. But he took care of that. He resolved that. I guess the nuance of his discussion with Carla, like Pete was just talking about before they went to tribal.
Yeah.
Where he was saying... And it was part confessional, it was part his discussion with her. I think it was in the confessional part. He said, Jesse did that just before we had to go. That was a
He
time
didn't like the pressure.
pressured push. And with that in mind, and then being able to rewatch it, I thought, oh, he handled that well. He did, because he said, okay, just give me a minute. Let me think about that. And of course, that was in the edit.
I was impressed with that.
In the edit,
He's
Jesse
really
comes off looking
thinking
like the superstar, because that's, Gabler's the backup plan for the blind side, and he's just being used, and he doesn't have a clue. But no,
But
Gabler
it put a target on his back.
Gabler for sure understood what was happening, and he didn't like it, but he realized that it's not me, and we've got to get a plan together for how to deal with these two, which is what that was. He's just
giving Carla a heads up that we need to. These two are
I'm here.
running things.
We can figure this out,
and we're going to have to do something about that.
Yeah.
And they could, Herd and Cassidy could pull in Gabler if they got down to 5.
Yes, and I have not had a positive outlook on him at all until now. The week 10, I am appreciating his game more than I had the whole season.
Aspect of him as a person, but as a player, you're right. I'm just now seeing that. Oh, he is thinking things through. He is strategizing.
He's not.
He is aware of the manipulation. So okay,
he's not just the butt of a joke that Ellie and Janine came up with, or that Sammy's playing because he's frustrated on him.
Though I still think that people don't fully trust him. They're never quite sure. He was kind of like Sammy, and now Sammy, I think, is kind of the pariah. They're just not going to trust him.
I think Gabler's voting record is one of the best, actually.
Yes.
Now, you have to be careful you don't overcredit him for that. He's basically saying, tell me who to vote for, and I'm your vote, and they did, and he gets credit for that. He absolutely did that in some of the earlier ones.
Not completely, though, because there were times he's like, nope, ain't going to vote for that person,
But there were others where he absolutely did.
But he is playing, and that I appreciate very much when they play and they play hard.
Yeah, I'm trying not to over-present for sure, but that certainly is interesting. Next up, we got an email from Mary in Maryland.
Hello, Survivor fans. I hope everyone is having a relaxing weekend. I enjoyed the episode. From what I can gather from other online discussions, there seems to be a consensus that this was a good one. I didn't quite follow all of the strategy that Jesse and the editors so helpfully laid out, but that just means I'll enjoy doing a rewatch before next week's episode.
Yes, you will.
After last week, my first thought was that it would be Noelle going, but then I thought that would be too obvious, so I chose Cody as my vote off just to do something wild and crazy. Sigh. I wish I knew who Rashmi was going to choose. Then I'd do the same. Ha ha.
Well, you're in luck. She's going to explain it. Just hang in there. She's coming up.
That was an amazing challenge win by Noelle. I was amazed that after struggling so long on the balance beam and finally making it over, she had the wherewithal to be able to throw so accurately and quickly land the beanbag on the platform. I imagine many other people would have felt too flustered and exhausted by that point to do well on the next part of the challenge, but not Noelle. That being said, as soon as I saw her triumphant moment, I knew she'd be in line to go home, and I would not be getting my vote-off point. I think Gabler is well set up to come in third place. I hope Jesse doesn't make his gameplay too obvious and keeps directing things under the radar, as he's one of my favorites. He's done a good job not being too great at challenges and letting Cody be the more out-there member of the alliance. Carla lost a little bit of status in the group over the past couple of weeks, I think, but I still have high hopes for her to continue to do well. Even though they've shown Cassidy, given her some backstory and talking heads, somehow she is still a non-entity in the game for me, and I have to keep reminding myself that she's there. I've had that same issue. The game still feels wide open as far as who the winner could be. Looking forward to seeing what happens in the next episode. Until next time. All right, thanks, Mary.
Yeah, there's an extra video where Carla it's basically her working on day 18 to rebuild things. She's like, okay, that I got tipped last minute, and I got to deal with that. I was almost left out of it, but I'm gonna make today about touching base with everyone and just renewing connections.
Yeah, you could tell that really shook her.
Yeah, like she said, it's the first time that had happened. Good stuff. Thanks, Mary. Next up, we got a call from Robert.
Hey, Joanne and Stacy and Survivor fans. This is Robert from Canada with my listener feedback. Before I get too deep into my feedback, I just want to wish Joanne's mom a very happy 95th birthday.
Yay,
hopefully she had a great
you.
birthday, and I just want to wish her the utmost happiness and health in the future. And just wanted to wish all of you Americans a happy Thanksgiving. Hopefully you had a great Thanksgiving with your family and you guys are almost fully recovered from eating all your turkey. I thought that this was a great episode of Survivor, and I really enjoyed that we got to have 2 challenges. Both challenges were compelling for different reasons. It's funny, during the first challenge I couldn't figure out why they're dedicating so much time to filming Noelle on that beam, because it didn't seem like she was going to be competitive in the challenge. And even though sometimes they film people's struggles as part of the challenge, it seemed excessive, but it sort of made sense when she was able to turn it around and win. So I thought that was super impressive. It's always nice when you get a loved one's reward challenge and seeing the different ways people's letters affect the survivors. And it's funny reading Jesse's letter from his kids and just seeing the handwriting on it. And it kind of reminded me of my daughter, who's 5. Her handwriting is sort of similar, and I was just laughing, imagining the letter that she would write to me and some of the imaginative stuff that she would include in that. So that made me laugh. I think Jesse's doing a really great job in this game. It's funny the way that he speaks to people, especially how he spoke to Gabler. It made me think, are we sure that he isn't a salesman? Ever since I changed USBs, well, I lost my USB, but I had to pick a new one. I picked Sammy, and ever since then I regret it because his stock has just continually gone down. And I should have gone to Jesse, because I think if I had to pick a winner at this point, I think he's about as good a pick as I can make. I think he's playing a great game. And I think more than Cody, I think he'd be able to explain his game in the end. And I think he has a great story, even just coming into the game. So I would pick him as my winner if I could at this point. At the Immunity Challenge, I really enjoyed the montage of all the stacks falling down. And I really liked this challenge. It was fun to sort of imagine how you would build your tower. And I think Cassidy's strategy, especially at the top of when you already have your tower stable and you're just sort of stacking things and just standing one up on end, I think is a really smart strategy. And it was really interesting to watch. It'll be interesting next week to hear what Gabler's plan is to make it to the final 3. I have a feeling it's not anywhere near as complex as heart surgery. I agree with you guys. It's probably a case of, hey, we're 3 people. Why don't we go to the end? As far as my vote off next week, I'm not sure who I'm going to pick, but I look forward to hearing everyone else's feedback, and hopefully that'll give me an idea. Anyway, that's it for me. Take care.
Awesome. Thanks, Robert.
Yeah, I think Sammy would be the easy pick, as far as, it doesn't mean that he will go, but certainly he looks like he's on the outs, or they might split the vote between Owen and Sammy.
There you go, Robert. You're going to lose your USB. Hope you're happy.
Oh, you're so mean.
And Joanne's mom had a wonderful birthday, so thank you for that. Next up, we got an email from Ed in Milwaukee. Joanne and Stacy, although I've watched every episode of season 43 and listened to all your podcasts, this is my first feedback of the season. I'm glad to have you back, Ed. Below, I present my analysis of the 7 players remaining in the game, but I must note that I have not watched this season with the intensity that I have watched previous seasons. As such, I have not kept up with the alliances and the individual player strategies that have happened. To date, the strongest games are being played by Cody, Carla, and Jesse. Sammy was in this class, but in recent weeks he has fallen because the other cast members have gotten wise to his tricks and deceptions, and he therefore has lost their trust and raised their suspicions. Sammy and Cody had been the biggest surprise. When I judged these 2 books by their covers at the beginning of the season, I thought that there would be an early book burning followed by a long stay at Ponderosa. My initial perception of Cody was that he was a goofball, but he has been incredibly strategic. And I find that Sammy, despite his flaws, is playing way beyond his years. I see Gabler and Cassidy as the bottom 2 players. They could each make the finals, perhaps as a GOAT, but I don't see either of them winning unless Gabler can pull a Fabio. or if Cassidy can deliver a Marianne Oketch level final speech. Well, they're celebrating Cassidy in this last episode. She came off looking pretty golden. This leaves Owen. I believe he is the Adam Klein of this season. Oh, wow. I always viewed Adam as not the best player of his season, but rather as the best player left in the game at the final tribal council. Owen is playing a steady game, but the only way that he can win is to shoot down the 4 big guns in front of him. I was cheering hard for the recently departed Noelle. Given the past history of amputees in Survivor, I thought that the cast would have eliminated her early, so I'm delighted she made it this far. If Sia is handing out money this season, I hope it goes to Noelle. Above is my analysis of the season, but I have a long history of failure in predicting what is going to happen in Survivor. This is why I do not participate in the JSFL. You should come along and fail with the rest of us. Finally, Joanna Stacy, please add my name to the list of listeners who truly appreciate the work that the two of you provide to provide this forum to enhance our love of our favorite TV show. Excellent. Thanks, Ed. Next up, we got a call from Rashmi.
Hello, Joanne and Stacy and all my Survivor friends. I am recording my feedback today as I didn't go to visit baby Anya, so I have time for my Survivor family. So I have really been enjoying this season of Survivor, and thankfully there has been no hourglass. I think the letters from home are all that we are ever going to get in place of getting the loved ones visit. Now, this was a great episode for Noelle. Her struggle and perseverance and finally her win was so inspirational and exhilarating. I was just on the edge of my seat watching her, and I just was so happy when she won, but I was really sad to see her go as well, because all the girls are just going one by one, and I really do hope to see either Carla or Cassidy in the final tribal council. So I just don't know what the rest of the tribe is thinking. They should be looking at breaking up the Jesse-Cody duo. The card challenge looks so very hard. I was so happy to see again Cassidy win. I do think Gabler is going to be the downfall for the boys. Won't it be fun if he manages to send either Cody or Jesse home? Owen, I feel, at this stage could be dragged along as a 0-vote finalist. However, I do like Owen a lot, and maybe because of his backstory. Now, this season I have been lucky at playing safe with all the safe points, getting them. Selecting who goes out has just been random because I've been so distracted and traveling and everything else. But reading the JSFL Facebook page always helps, especially Nina. She always gives good suggestions. I always look to see what she has written. So happy Thanksgiving to all my American friends. Have fun, enjoy your food, keep safe, keep happy, everyone. Cheers from sunny Perth. Bye.
Cheers, Rashmi. Good job. There you have it. That's Rashmi's secret. Now you can all capitalize on that.
There you go.
Next up, we got an email from MichelleH from Virginia.
Hello. This is the first time I've participated in JSFL, and I've had fun trying to guess each week.
Yes.
I'd started an email last week but never finished it because I realized I mainly wanted to tell everyone that I'd gotten both vote-out points on James and Ryan.
Awesome. Congrats.
Now I have to tell everyone I got this week's vote-off point for Noelle.
Wow.
Perhaps it is a bit of bragging, but I tend to crash and burn when I get excited, so the possibility of the streak continuing is slim. This week's episode also proved what I'd suspected, that someone knows about Carla's idol. Collecting beads is something anyone could have mentioned to anyone. I do believe she kept it a secret, but the way the producers set it up with the beads makes it impossible to truly keep it a secret. That's one of the things the producers are doing that take away from the game. I used to love Jeff, but he seems to be trying too hard, forcing more sentiment than is necessary. The sentiment is still there. Noelle's win was awesome, but then Jeff had to drag it out. It just takes away from the game a bit. Anyway, thank you for your podcast and JSFL. I look forward to all of it as much as I look forward to Survivor. Well, thank you, Michelle, and welcome.
Yeah, and we look forward to hearing another update on your JSFL performance. Next up, we got a call from Chris.
Hey, Joanne and Stacy. Hey, Survivor fans. Hey, Joanne's mom. Happy birthday.
Yay.
Y'all, I really enjoyed the show this week. It was good. It was great. And right out of the gate with that challenge, things were really getting to move on. I had to pause my watching of it and didn't get to finish it until yesterday, so it was a real Thanksgiving celebration. And so much better than the leftovers that we were all so used to. Have they always had flashbacks when they get back to camp right after tribal? I guess I've just gotten so nullified to the differences that I always think it's been this way. It is interesting how they add things over the years. Like towards the end at Tribal Council when Jeff said something like, and then the assassin's gonna shoot. That gunfire punctuation from the music department. That was great, but it just shows how reality television, setting up a camera in the woods, has become so scripted. And for all I knew, Jesse was going to go home, so I was hoping he was going to play his idol. I guess I'm not paying close attention to the game. I love the show. It's really good. And those tribal drones buzzing around at the beginning of the challenge, and all the shouting, that was great. Can you imagine being on site with that going on, like you're some kind of a VIP? I don't know who that would be. Maybe young Sheldon or somebody from Ghosts. They all get out together and watch the finale. That would be pretty good. When they did the spinning thing, Stacy, you were talking about ballet dancers. We were in show choir, and we had to learn to do that. So, yeah, that's one thing I would be able to do. Breathing underwater, I couldn't handle that. I'm glad that Jeff doesn't say, and you've got a 1 in 7 shot at winning the game. Because let's be honest, not everybody has the same percentage of winning. Chance is better. And, oh, the tall tower. When Jeff said tall tower, it made me think of this cute story with my daughter. She was probably about 2 or 3. And she said she fell. And I guess I should have taken her more seriously. But I said, oh, did you fall off a tower? And she said, yes, I fell off a tower. And I said, was it a tall tower? And she said, yes, I fell off a tall tower. At Tribal Council, Jeff Probst had this great Andrew Jackson-style hair. I mean, what is that, a $20 bill? You were talking about how on next time on Survivor, they'll show little clips of footage, and it never plays out as dramatically as it seems that it should. And I remember in college, we had this little game when Matlock came on for the first time ever. On the clip, it had Matlock. He said, only the truth will do. And then it was like, be there with Matlock when strange things makes things happen. And he says, it's driving me crazy. We didn't know what to expect. So when the show came on, they were asking him what it was like to live with his daughter. And he was, well, I don't know. It's driving me crazy. And then when he was in court for the big confrontation, he told the woman, now see here, little missy, only the truth will do. Speaking of next time on Survivor, I'm looking forward to that challenge. It's always a good one. And Jeff shouting to them underwater makes total sense. Here comes the wave, and that's how you do it on... Have a great week, everybody.
Oh,
All
goodness.
right.
Thanks, Chris. Next up, we got a call from David.
Hey, Joanne and Stacy. It's David in Pittsburgh. And first, I want to apologize for getting this in so late. My thoughts are scattered. Some holiday came in between the time I was supposed to rewatch the show and record to you. So I decided I wasn't going to send you anything this week. And I thought, oh, why not? Half the time, whatever I send it doesn't make sense anyway. So here's some thoughts. I keep wondering why this season seems so different to me. I just can't explain it. It seems like I'm not able to follow why people are voting the way they're voting. There doesn't seem to be long-term strategic plans for most of the competitors. I don't know if it's the editing or the fact that this is such a shorter, condensed season. I know the last two were that way also, but it just doesn't seem like we're getting these long storylines of couples and their alliances to each other. For example, Carla, Cassidy, I'm not sure how strong that is. The one that I see right now is Jesse and Cody, and I'm not sure how long that's going to last. In this episode, we got to see Jesse's thought process, and I thought that was done so brilliantly. The first time I've seen this season somebody explaining step by step how he's going to plan somebody being voted out. Although it doesn't seem to be a long-term strategy, it seems to be like one person at a time. But were we shown that as a winner's edit or a loser's edit? Is he going to be going out sooner than later? I don't know. But I started thinking about the couples on Survivor that I remembered had a strong alliance and lasted through most of the game. I'm thinking of Wendell and Dawn, Christian and Gabby, Heidi and Jenna, Denise and Malcolm, JT and Steven, Amber and Rob. These were great duos where they worked together, plotted together. They weren't sure they could trust each other all the way to the end, but pretty much they were faithful to each other long into the game. Not that they never tried to take the other one out, but they really had an alliance that was strong. I'm not seeing that in this season. And again, that could be the editing, so I don't know how strong these last two pairs are. And of course, this was a great episode for Noelle. She was a challenge beast. We love seeing her win that reward challenge. I mean, that was very emotional. The fact that she put a bigger target on herself was the reason why she left. So yes, I'm enjoying the season, but I still am finding it perplexing, not understanding why people are making the moves that they are. Talk to you guys next week. Bye.
Thanks, David. I think that is a somewhat common sentiment. We're going to hear some more about that.
Yeah, for this
as we go
season.
along. Yeah. Next up, we've got an email from Rids in Winterpeg, Canada. Hello, Joanne and Stacy and Survivor super fans. Here are my thoughts on the show. No big surprises this episode. Noelle already had a big target on her back, and her amazing reward challenge comeback win put her on top of the castaways you don't want to take to the end list. Great competitor. I loved Jesse's how to effectively pull off a blindside tips, but I do question his choice of words at Tribal quoting his son. Get that money, baby. He may have to play his idol sooner than later. Is Cody going to ask for his idol back? It seems with the knowledge is power advantage gone, this might be a priority. I now think it'll be Cody that'll have a hard time beating Jesse if they both make the final, not the other way around. Both Cass and Gabler had a good episode. Cass with her immunity win and Gabler recognizing that Jesse and Cody are calling the shots. If he does turn on them, it'll be a great move. We were left hanging a little this last episode, but I'm guessing it's central to the drama next week. I felt Carla acted a little stunned this whole episode, but it fits with the as long as it's not me strategy. The second time Carla's name was read by Jeff, she had the oh no, I'm going home with an idol in my pocket look. She was clearly very relieved when the votes went to Noelle. I'm betting she'll play the... Yeah, she actually said something, huh? They fuzzed out her mouth.
Yeah.
I'm betting she'll play the idol very soon. Perhaps she'll try to align with Gabler, pull in some votes, and try to blindside Jesse. I also think the idols are coming out, so I doubt he's going home. I'm guessing Sam Bam or Owen will catch the ricochet. Or... what if they target Carla and she also plays an idol? Whatever happens, I'm excited for it. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone, and happy birthday to Joanne's mom.
Yay! Thank you.
Thanks, Rids. Next up, we got a call from Parker.
Hey, it's Parker from Indiana, and I've been gone. And since I've been gone, I've been mentioned twice on the feedback show, so that's pretty cool. But I've been watching, and since the episode I really didn't like, I've enjoyed it more. But I still haven't... This season started out really fun, but I feel like it's just going downhill. And, yeah, I don't know. It feels like 42, where I just have this, like, kind of disconnect with it towards the end of the season. And it's weird because I like more of the people left than I did last season. Most of the cast I really like. I love Jesse and Carla. I love Cody. I love Owen. I love Cassidy. Sammy's fine. And then... I liked James. I thought he was compelling. He was very layered kind of villain, but also just good player. So he was fun. Ryan was boring, so he's out of here. That's good. And then Gabler's really the only one I don't like. So I love the cast, and I'm having fun watching them, but it's just, there's just this disconnect where the episode happens and then it leaves my head. And I don't like, it's not usually like that for me. So I don't know what it is. And maybe it's just this new era and how they're editing the show that is just not as memorable. Except I will say I really like the checklist moment from this episode. That was super fun. But it's just, I don't know. And I feel like they're just shoving down the inspirational stuff, like shoving that down our throats, which is a bit much. And Survivor's always been a show where you have inspiring people and you have great stories of people overcoming things. It's great. Awesome. But that hits hard because you know them, right? The Suri moment in Game Changers wouldn't hit if we didn't know Suri really well. The Ethan Zahn moment on Edge of Extinction wouldn't hit if we didn't know Ethan Zahn so well. It's like stuff like that. If we didn't spend a whole season seeing David Wright go through this huge growth as a person of overcoming his fear of life, then his story wouldn't hit so much. Yes, there are so many inspiring things that happen in Survivor, but my problem is, with Noelle, all I'm seeing is, wow, she's really great at challenges. Isn't that cool? Why is that surprising? Why is that something to be marveled at? She's an athlete. I get she's disabled, but she's an athlete. She's an Olympian. You can go and watch her race and play lacrosse and all those other things she does and see how inspiring she is. What I wish we got was just her as a person. I feel like I know nothing about Noelle other than the fact that she is disabled. And that sucks. That leaves a bad taste in my mouth. I get they wanted me to be sad during this episode and sad when she left, but I'm not. Because I don't know anything about her. Like, we barely saw anything. So that just doesn't sit right with me. I don't know if I'm the only one who feels that, but I don't know. That's just what I'm feeling. And I'm kind of I'm like losing touch with this season, but I'm going to stick with it, of course. Like I said, I love the cast. I really want to see who wins, because like there's no way Gabler's winning. So whoever wins, I'll be happy with it in the end. So yeah, that's all I got. I'll see you guys next time. Or maybe I won't. Maybe I'll forget feedback again. Who knows?
All right. Thanks, Parker.
I thought that was a very good insight, Parker.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I appreciate you sharing that.
Yeah, there's definitely...
And I agree.
There's definitely elements missing, and we've just had that reinforced 3 times now.
Mm-hmm.
With, 13 full days less of content for them to choose from? That couldn't have an impact. You just don't get those opportunities for insight. And then if you add to that recipe, hey, we're going to do these new things, then there's that much less time. That's why, of course, having the 2-hour intro and then the second episode being 90 minutes was really good. And
yeah, this late in the game, I don't really feel like I know anyone really well as far as their life or what they, I know them for their gameplay and what they've done so far, or how they've acted in the game, but I don't really know anything.
It's always been
much.
Just snapshots that you've got, but somehow these do seem lighter.
That's focused on just one area of their life mostly,
or one aspect, or one sort of pivotal moment in the game, or sometimes even not life. Pivotal moments.
And there's much more than that.
Certainly, you're not alone in your perception or reaction, Parker. Next up, we got a call from Rebecca.
Hi, Joanne and Stacy, and happy Thanksgiving. This is Rebecca calling from Northern California, and I have to admit, I had Noelle as my vote-out point, and I got full points this week, but I still found myself completely teary and emotional that she got voted off, because what an amazing player she was. I mean, that girl kicked butt. She was social, she had great strategy, she was smart, she was physical, and she was a major threat to everybody. And I just hope that when she left the game, she realized that she is completely capable, and the only reason she got voted off was because she was too good. So I had a great time watching this episode. I really enjoyed watching Jesse strategize. That was just a really fun little synopsis there when he's part 1, part 2, part 3. And I like that my USB's name is barely getting tossed about. He's doing really great, Cody, but, he's still kind of playing under the radar. It's just really fun to watch all these guys. I think this might be one of my favorite seasons ever. I'm having a blast, and I wanted to make sure I got my feedback in before I go off with my niece for the day. Going to show her Napa. She's visiting from New York. We're having a lovely time. We're having a great Thanksgiving together, and I just hope everybody is having a wonderful holiday. And I'm going to be sad when this season is over because it's so fun. All right, happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
I love the contrast. Thanks, Rebecca. Good job. For her, it's like one of the best seasons she's enjoyed, and yeah, it hits us all different. And this is a great opportunity in the listener feedback show to be able to share those different views. Good job. Next up, we got an email from ColdMike in Kingston, Canada. I think it's a response to something I said in the recap show.
So I was warming up my voice and considering a vocal lesson or two. Then Stacy took a risk. The gap has tightened. I bet we could get a good deal on 2-for-1 vocal lessons. Might be a good risk mitigation strategy. Mm-hmm. If we tie, do we have to do a duet? We can do Islands in the Stream, but only if you are Dolly.
It'd have to be Dolly several octaves low. Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah, good luck to you too. Thanks, ColdMike. That was great. That cracked me up when that came in.
That's ColdMike from Kingston, Canada.
Yeah.
And he's talking about the side challenge.
Yeah. Next up, we got a call from Noelle.
Hi everyone, it's Noelle calling from Albuquerque. I'm kind of all over the place today. Sorry if my feedback is not going to make sense. I'm going to give it my best shot. I'm taking a break from the turkey right now. I hope everyone's having a great holiday. I really enjoyed the episode. I did not enjoy seeing Noelle leave, but I doubt that anyone did. The way that they were portraying her in the episode, I said to my daughter, I think she's going out. Look at what a big deal they're making about the reward challenge. I don't even know if they would have shown us the reward challenge if she wasn't going out, so I think she's the vote. My daughter said, yeah, I think she's the vote. I had Sammy going, so I appreciated at least that the castaways were talking about they're onto him being, a double agent. And so at least there was that. They're seeing what I'm seeing. I really loved the episode because they finally showed us people talking through their thought process, and that's what I was really missing from the previous episodes. That's like my favorite part of Survivor, and I wish it was featured in every episode. I understand it can't be, but I really enjoyed watching Cody and Jesse talk through the potential consequences of every option for the vote. I loved the blindside checklist. I thought that was a really fun edit. It seemed like maybe they were setting Jesse up for a fall. He kept saying over and over again, my son says bring home the money. It's like, don't remind people that you're here to win. It's easy to get tunnel vision and for everybody to forget that everyone else is also trying to win, and you keep reminding them they might vote you out. And then Gabler grabbing Carla and saying we need to do something about, did he say Jesse and Cody? Or did he just say one of them? Because both. Dwight in his exit interview said that he didn't know that Jesse and Cody were so close, and that makes me worry that other people don't see it. But if Gabler said Cody and Jesse, then that makes me feel a little bit better because I don't know how they're going to get them out. They both have idols. And if Cody hears about Jesse, Jesse will play his. If Jesse hears about Cody, Cody will play his. So they have to leave them both in the dark. They have to go through the checklist that Jesse gave us. It sounded really hard. I don't know how they'll get them out. I think I probably will I'm going to take the bait, put Jesse down as my vote out for next week, see what happens. I'm not feeling like that's going to happen. It was awesome to see Cassidy win the immunity challenge. Oh, do you guys think that she would have been the vote out if she hadn't won immunity? I'm kind of wondering about that, or if that was just a red herring. Gabler is still fun to watch. I enjoy seeing his kind of unique take on things. I like when people do things that are unexpected because it's more fun to watch than when people just play it safe, and that's kind of boring. I do like everybody on the cast. I just haven't enjoyed watching all of their gameplay so far. But again, it was a great episode. Everyone have a great weekend. Bye.
Thanks, Noelle. We enjoyed your break from the turkey. And yes, they were targeting Cassidy, and if Carla got some inkling that they were coming for her, which I think somebody might have given her a heads up, she would have played her immunity and Cassidy would have been gone. So that seemed clear. And the way to get Jesse and Cody out is to take out Jesse while he's holding both the idols. So I think your pick for Jesse's definitely got something. It's got some meat behind it in that regard.
But he told Noelle that he gave it back to Cody. Mm-hmm. But we don't know if he was telling the truth or that was just what he'd made up for his reason.
Point number one.
Be talking. Yes.
Have a cover story. Was it just part of the cover story or was it reality?
We don't know.
Yeah. But yeah, blindside is the way. And if you get him holding both, wow, that's sweet.
I would start a rumor that somebody found the knowledge of power.
Okay.
And the way they could, if I were like Jesse wanted to take out Cody or something, he could tell him, somebody, so-and-so found the knowledge of power, and he'd say, here, hang on to this for me, and then they vote him out.
That would be a great move by Cody. Yeah.
No, Jesse.
Oh, they vote out Cody?
Yes.
Okay, I thought you meant they vote out Jesse.
No, Jesse tells
I should remember that Jesse's your USB, and therefore you wouldn't be advocating for that.
What a dumb statement.
Okay, thanks again, Noelle. Next up, we got an email from Josh the Plush Moose from Massachusetts. Dear Joanne and Stacy, the plot thickens. Dun, dun, dun. We're seeing more players, games, and strategies come into focus. The final episodes should be very interesting.
Now we get to hear the dialogue in your head, too?
My other observations. Did you know that some people don't have an inner dialogue? Some people don't have a voice in their head that's constantly running. Yeah, I found that hard to believe, too. But evidently some people don't have an explicit inner dialogue. Okay.
I don't believe that.
Well, there you go. Okay, back to Josh. My other observations. Cassidy gloating about Ryan's blindside seems like foreshadowing of her own demise. Jesse knows where all the idols are. He'd be a winner at Clue, but he may lose Survivor. Does Survivor film in Fiji to avoid having to offer ADA accommodations? That's good. Jesse, Cody, and Gabler are in the middle. It's a little dark, but it's good. Jesse, Cody, and Gabler are in the middle. Are they monkeys? When Owen gets dizzy, he pretends he's in the starting blocks for a 100-meter sprint. He did, didn't he? After her initial struggles, Noelle's win in the reward challenge almost seems scripted. Okay, so...
Yeah, you said that.
I said that exact same thing, too, and I didn't say anything during the recap, but it's still stuck with me. And we watched again. Yes, it seems scripted. I agree.
I don't believe that it was scripted at all. But yes, it does give that feel.
Yes. It's so pushed, and of course Probst is in there, nudging it towards the emotional query and
they made sure there was a camera on her getting the footage that they would want.
Well, yeah, but everybody has cameras.
Yeah,
that's why there's so many camera people there. The thing that drew me back just a little was I was like, oh yeah, not everybody wants to win these things and decide who goes on reward.
Well, yeah,
so there
puts a target on you.
Could have been several people actively working to fail. Yeah, throwing it.
Not really trying to get it up there. So.
I'm so glad you said that. I wasn't even going to bring it up, but
okay. Yeah. And back to Josh.
Why do survivors challenges have accommodations for height but not disabilities? I'm sure a lot of people were asking that this week. This is the first time I've ever seen someone sweat so badly that their leg fell off. Back to the dark. Sanctuary is a budget resort. It has food, blankets, and letters, but no showers. Jesse's son's "Get the money, baby" was the quotable quote of the episode. Noelle got a lot of screen time. I was worried for her when Tribal started. Cody is chatty when he dines out. This is different from usual. How? Cassidy wants Noelle out. I want a pony. Only one of us got what they wanted. Watching the card towers implode was like watching videos of building demolitions. Yeah, it was done. It was very
I thought it sounded like slot machines.
Cinematographic.
Ting, ting, ting,
no,
ting, ting, ting.
I can't. I'm not getting that word right. The design of Owen's first tower was based on the Leaning Tower of Pisa. Yeah. Cassidy majored in design, but she obviously minored in architecture. Jesse's How to Plot a Blindside showed he could script a murder mystery novel. Gabler says he's hiding in plain sight. Does he think he's Kaiser Soze? Cody and Jesse are steering the ship, but I'm fearful that there's an iceberg in their future. The tribe may be using silencers instead of grenades, but a lot of games are being blown up. Gabler says Jesse and Cody are a power couple. Did the producers nix their power suits? Voting out Noelle's number ones to weaken her sounds like playing whack-a-mole. When Gabler droned through his surgery analogy, I felt like I'd been given anesthesia. That's perfect. Jesse wants to go with the big bills. He'd prefer $1 million in $100 bills. The alligabler has claws. Can he scratch out a victory at Final Tribal? Given Cody's skill in body language analysis, he's probably a successful salesman. Jeff looked calm, but he was paddling furiously to make that swimming duck analogy. Yeah, he was forcing analogies in that tribal, wasn't he? When Noelle talked about inspiring a disabled kid, I knew she was going home. Will Surfer Cody have an advantage in next week's immunity challenge, or will he wipe out? Next time a boat arrives and there's a mad dash, did it drop off the knowledge's power advantage and they're all running away from it? That's perfect. Anyway, that's it for me for now. Thanks, Joanne and Stacy, for all you do. I can't wait to hear what the other fans have to say. Stay safe, everybody. Thanks, Josh. Good job, buddy. Next up, we got a call from Jeremiah.
Hello, Joanne and Stacy. Hello, Survivor friends. Jeremiah here, this time coming to you from a hotel room in San Diego. We just dropped off our kids at the airport. They were staying with us this week for Thanksgiving, so that was really nice to have all of our children together, even though a few of them got COVID last week, but got clearance. Just enough time for us to at least see them a little bit last night. So we had all of our kids together, so that was really nice. But, of course, I'm here to talk about this week's episode of Survivor, which kind of was a very emotional episode. Watching Noelle go out, she had such a powerful story, and then seeing how determined she was to finish that competition was so great. I can't imagine anyone not being inspired by watching that. That was just phenomenal. And unfortunately for her, I do think they probably made the right choice. I think that you can't let a strong player like that with a great emotional story to get it too far, because she would easily win. So that was very tough. But what I really wanted to talk about, though, is Jesse's edit in this one really baffled me, because, he kind of got a little bit of what we've been seeing from Owen, where he's doing the storytelling. This time, of course, talking about how he organized the vote for Noelle. And so what I thought was interesting is, what does this mean for him? We have that final scene there right before they go to tribal council where Mike Gabler, of all people, tells Carla, hey, we need to get rid of Cody and Jesse because they're too powerful. And, of course, they didn't go that direction. And I kind of felt like that it wasn't going that direction, especially after when we saw that it was right towards tribal council. Usually by that point, the show is editors have at least given us an idea of who's on the chopping block. So I wasn't buying it at that moment. But that makes me think that obviously that scene was there for a reason. Does Mike and Carla go after Cody and Jesse next week? Makes me kind of wonder. I mean, we talked about it before. Obviously, they have two idols. They would be tough to get out unless, of course, it's a beautiful done blindside, which Carla is, of course, very capable of doing. So it will be very fascinating to see what happens. I'm going to keep my eye out, because we're getting to the point now we have to figure out who in the world is winning this thing, because right now we've all kind of been locked in on Jesse and Carla, which I still think they're the front runners. But is there someone else that we're not thinking about? I don't know. All right, well, hopefully by next week we'll have a little bit better idea, because it's coming down to the wire. All right, well, anyway, that's it for me. Hey, for those of you that do live in the LA area, Rach and I are going to Wendell's party. So if you want to go to that finale viewing party, I know it's going to be a lot of stars there. So definitely look up on Wendell's Instagram page for that information. And if you'd like to join us, that'd be awesome. Let me know on Facebook or something if you're going. And that's pretty much it for me. Of course, everyone in the states that are celebrating Thanksgiving, hope everyone had a good Thanksgiving. And until next time, this is Jeremiah from Southern California.
Awesome. Thanks, Jeremiah. Next up, we got a call from Paul.
Hey, Paul, Louisiana here, and it's raining and thundering, and I'm in this shop with a metal roof, so sorry about that. So the episode started off almost immediately with a reward challenge, so I will too. When the reward was revealed, I instantly said that this was a challenge you really want to lose, but boy did I ever cheer out loud when Noelle actually came from far, far behind to win that challenge. Of course, then I realized what had happened, and I just knew her time had come. That particular challenge never bodes well for its winner, and this was no exception. It just draws too much attention to you, especially in Noelle's case here, and it's almost inevitable that someone you pick to share the reward with will end up spearheading your demise. And in this case, that was Jesse. And when Jesse and Cody were talking about how Noelle always picks up a new partner when they get rid of her old one, well, I kept thinking that Carla does the same thing. But again, this week they chose to vote out a less powerful player who actually has little footing in the game. And there's no pun intended there. Will our next vote off have some weight to it? You know, I hope so, but I don't think so. It's nice to know that Carla's immunity idol isn't the secret we thought it might be, but having a vote thrown her way may give her some pause for alarm. She's certainly not stupid, and if anyone can dodge an incoming attack, I think it's Carla. It's a shame, though, that Noelle wasted her advantage a week too soon, because using it this week would have been seen as a bigger power play, and it would have kept her in the game. But you know what they say about hindsight. Oh, and Noelle's graceful exit of the game only made James Stink-Eye while sitting there in the jury look worse. So then, when are Jesse and Cody going to decide it's time to part ways? The sooner the better, I think, because you can't have both people thinking the same thing at about the same time, and because it helps give the loser some time to get over the betrayal. But it also shows the other players just how dangerous the winner of that battle is. Personally, well, we've seen Jesse vote against his emotions with NECA, so I don't think he'll have trouble voting against Cody. It's just all about timing, but I think we're still a week or so away from that showdown. But I have no doubt that it'll happen, and that it'll surely be fun to watch. Next to go, then? Well, I thought that Carla and Sammy had a connection, but Sammy voted against her, so is Carla in trouble? If you go after her, you're going to need to split some votes, and I guess Owen or Sammy would be the best bets. Sammy, I think, has a reputation for hooking up with the popular vote almost as an afterthought, and also for making waves, or I guess trying to make waves. But I honestly believe Owen's wagon may lose its wheels this week. It's an easy choice, and it'll help make the rest of the episodes more enjoyable. And there you have it. I hope everyone has a great week. I'll catch you again in 7 days. I actually have a recap to listen to because I am running late with everything here. Bye.
All right. Thanks, Paul. Well, it's pouring down there at the end, huh?
I couldn't hear it.
You couldn't hear that at all?
Uh-uh.
Oh, wow.
You know I can't hear things you hear.
Yeah.
You'll say, don't you hear that? What's that noise? I'm like, what noise? You're like, you can't hear that? And I'm like, hear what? You'll go open the door and be like, oh, yeah, I hear that. Well, you know,
there you
I
are.
have some hearing loss.
Yep.
You know, rock concerts and all that kind of
Okay.
hurts things. And old age. But, okay, one thing I wanted to point out is that you and I, when we went back to rewatch, noticed that when Jeff started talking to Noelle and saying how her winning the challenge and inspiring, you know, kids out there, they showed
The jury.
Janine and James looked at each other in a way, and I said, well, that was the equivalent of an eye roll.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, that's interesting that they showed that, because they don't usually, right in the middle of something like that, flash over to the jury. So they wanted us to see that for some reason. So I thought,
I just thought it fit in the build-up to voting her out. I didn't really see it as more than anything than that.
well, it could let them know, let us know how they're feeling about what Jeff is doing.
Like
as
a lot
well.
of the super fans, which was, how long are you going to let her stay in the game? With the super inspirational Euro
Are
hero.
you guys listening to this? Hello.
Hero mix that she's getting. Yeah.
He'll do the same thing at the final tribal if you let her get there. But anyway, I observed that they had done that, which is not usual that they flash on the jury like that.
Do you think they'll really take a run at Jesse or Cody in the next episode?
I'm going to say no. I almost think they would take a run more at Carla.
Really? Over someone easy like Owen or Sammy?
Well,
who are just floundering now?
Right now, I'm leaning towards Sammy's going home.
Mm-hmm.
But they could at least have the discussion of blindsiding Carla, making her feel safe, and then they can use the other guys. Those two guys will vote for whoever they're told if they think they can save themselves.
Right. And of course, the interesting thing about Final 7 is it gives someone the opportunity to be the big swing.
That's right.
You come to a 3-3 and then someone goes, oh, wait a minute, I'm talking to both sides. And it may come down to me.
And who do you think does that best?
Sammy's done it a lot.
Gabler.
So he's been swinging. Yeah. Yeah, maybe. He might. Although he seems like he would be part of the movement to go after Jesse or Cody.
Yeah, that's true too. But they could make a case to go after Carla. But it was Noelle that was wanting Cassidy so badly. So does this make Cassidy safe now that Noelle's gone and Ryan's gone? So the two people that were targeting her most are now gone.
Safer. Yeah, definitely not safe because she was on the block until she saved herself.
Yeah, and I kind of feel like Owen and Sammy really have nobody. That's why they voted with each other. They have no one.
Even less now. They just took Noelle away from Owen, so he's lost another one. Anyone he aligns with and gives the old ride or die to, they're not long for the game.
I don't. Did anybody really give him the ride or die?
Well, they talked about him being Noelle's number one. So that was a big emphasis in this last episode. So
yeah, at this point, because she didn't have as much to go with either. Though I'm pretty sure she thought Jesse was with her. So good on Jesse that they only Gabler has mentioned how close him and Cody are, but surely everybody knows. But Noelle, I'm sure, thought they at least made her think she was still a part of that, of the old Vesey.
Uh-huh.
But now she knows different.
Yeah, she did seem to trust him too much, that's for sure.
But I expect it'll kind of just, Sammy will go myself, but it could be Owen just as well.
Yeah.
But they could target one of they should probably target
Big
one
target.
of the, yeah. When you can
go 4 to 3, yeah.
I would be trying to break up Carla and Cassidy or Jesse and Cody. You know, breaking anybody you know's in a tight alliance, I would want to break those up if you could.
Sure.
But knowing that 3 of those people have idols, but you got to push it at some point because if you don't, they're just going to keep those idols. Now they can play them to what? Final 5?
Yeah.
So
they got 3 more opportunities to play them. Yeah. So you would think that it kind of ups the ante, that it gets harder and harder to hold it. There's less places to hide. You know, your name's going to come up as there are fewer and fewer left in the game, so you're going to feel that push
to play
it more.
2 more episodes, don't they? Oh, they can play it at Final 5?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
that would be 3.
The 2 coming up and then the finale, they could still play if the finale's got the 5, yeah.
First rival, yeah.
Yep.
Well, then, I'd be wanting to force somebody to be playing those. But because of the three of the main strategists,
with one of them being completely unknown as far as we know. We haven't heard that Jesse has shared with Cody, although they've done lots of holding back from us.
Yeah, they have. So we really don't
assist
know.
their edit. We don't know for sure, but there's been no clear discussion. Do you think Jesse and Cody would go to the end with each other? I actually think they would.
I do think they would.
That they're willing to take the chance.
And I both think they could beat the other one.
Yeah. Well, you got to believe you can win regardless. You do what you can to improve your chances, but sometimes you can't exactly control the outcome of who you get there with.
Well, that's why, though, also I think that Gabler could get to the end.
I'm not thinking of him as a goat. Let's see what happens after the next episode. But he has become less goat-like to me. Sammy right now is kind of a 0-vote guy. So, yeah, maybe his fortune will change.
I could see anyone getting to the end but Sammy. I just can't see Sammy there.
Yeah, we're suckers for the edit, though.
I know.
We get pulled in by that all the time. Hey, thanks to everybody who took the time to share your thoughts and predictions with us today. We, as you can tell, thoroughly enjoyed it. And we appreciate hearing from all of you, especially during the busy weekend. And we hope you are all having a great holiday weekend for those people that are celebrating it.
And if you play in JSFL, don't forget to make your Week 11 picks for 1 person voted out and 4 people who are safe. So is there anything else that you want to discuss before we wrap it up?
Looking forward to this next episode.
All right, we'll be back on Wednesday with our next recap.
Have a good one.